Hey crafty babes, Andrea here. So excited for you to join me today. We are going to make a Crafty Babe mini mag. Yes, we are going to make a little mini project using this little extra kit that I have designed. Plus, we're going to decorate with some of the Summer of 23 For the Record collection available in my shop. I'm so excited about this. It's been a long time since I've made a small project. I kind of went into this year thinking and kind of telling myself I would stick with one size and not make all these little mini things. But for this, I really kind of just want a snapshot in time, little tiny project, and I'm not going to make it so that I can't complete it. I'm going to do maybe a maximum of 10 little pages and using some of these prompts that I've provided. So together we are going to, number one, make one. We're going to make one. This is my little prototype that I'm going to use to help you make it. Or just show you how you can use a pre-made smaller notebook. Like this is, I think, a 3.5 by 5.5. You can get these, you know, anywhere where you buy notebooks. Yeah, 3.5 by 5.5. This one happens to be from JM Planning Essentials, but she no longer sells physical things in her shop. I have loved these from Illustrated Faith. I do not know if this is still available in their shop. It's quite old, but I know they had a lot. So if it is available still, I will link it. Otherwise, I really love these field notebooks. And again, same size, 3.5 by 5.5, but we are going to make our book just slightly larger than a 3 by 4 because all of these listing cards that I've made are all 3 by 4. So we're going to make this little book with just a little bit of extra room on the outside. So here is what you are going to need. You need to print out the Crafty Babe Mini Mag printables. Any of the other printables from the magazine that you want to use. So all of this stuff will work beautifully in a little book like this. All the labels, all of the cards, even the add-ons, the Polaroids, the lined notes, all the ephemera, all the tickets and hearts, everything will work. The other thing is to print out some of the papers. I have all of the papers here. So I have all the solids, all the main papers, and all of the grid papers. I think I would like to use the grid papers as my base. So I'm going to grab just all of the grid papers that have the white background with the colored lines. I think that's what I'd like to do. So put these aside. They're all different colors that coordinate with the summer collection. So gray, black, 2 shades of the blue, 2 shades of the green, 2 shades of the teal, 2 shades of orange, and 2 shades of pink. So what I was thinking was that I would have one spread like with the grid and then the other side would be blank. So it would kind of alternate. And just depending on how it's put together, I guess we'll just figure it out as we go. If you want to just use regular paper, I would suggest using something like a 32-pound paper. This is the paper that I use for like all of my planner pages, just because it's nice and thick, but it is not too thick for the folding aspect. Now this is all printed on 80-pound cardstock. So I originally was thinking, well, maybe I'll just go back through and print and double side print these, but then I was like, no, that's just too much work and I'm sort of a lazy crafter. So I'm just gonna use what I have, and we are going to start by cutting as many pieces as we need for however large you want this book to be. With the dimensions of 6.5 by 4.25. So for example, I think I can get two of these full-sized out of just one piece of paper. So I'm going to go 4.25, 4.25, and then we'll cut them both together at 6.5. Oh, I need my other cutter. We're just in this together, girls. Four and a quarter by 6.5. And my cutter is not, these bars right here are not even, so I always have to eyeball it, so I'm thankful for the lines. And then I could do something like this where each color is alternated. That way when you open the book, it's like you've got some, you know, a white spread, and then you've got a grid spread, white spread, grid spread. So we are going to see. I'm probably not going to do the black, a little too dark, and I might just stick with the lighter versions of these versus the darker, just so that they don't, you know, contrast too much with how I'm decorating things. And not that they're all super bold or anything, but I kind of don't want the paper to be the standout necessarily. Okay, so I'm actually going to do 2 pages at a time to save a little time, and I'll probably fast forward you through all of this. Okay, now that we have all of these things cut up, I'm going to tell you what else we're going to need. So you are going to need a bone folder, a pencil, a ruler, and a stapler. You don't need a long arm stapler, but your tiny attacher probably isn't going to work. It's not going to have the depth that we need, and the longer staples will do a better job of holding everything together. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out what the center is, where we need to create a fold line. If you have like a scoreboard, like a We Are Memory Keepers board or something, you can score all of these. I don't have that. I don't typically use a lot of tools, so I'm just going to be doing this by hand. We actually don't need to measure. We're just going to fold from end to end there, you know, hamburger way. So each one we're just going to fold and then secure that crease. And again, this does not, I don't know why I said again, and this does not have to be perfect. We are not going for perfection here. We are going for good enough. And that is saying something coming from a recovering perfectionist. You could fold these all at once and then score, or not score, but fold them like with the bone folder. That's another potential way to like batch process this situation. That way you're only picking up the bone folder one time. Sometimes when we're doing assembly line stuff like this, I like to make things as efficient as possible to get the job done. Just got a couple more. Most of this is going to be in real time so that you can follow along, and hopefully you won't have to pause too many times because you know, I shouldn't have to skip through any steps or anything. And I probably have too many pages, but we're gonna kind of decide that as things get assembled. So, okay, I have quite a lot here, and I don't have any real rhyme or reason to the order of the color. And I made these cards blank, so you can print these pages as many times as you want. If you only want to use these, you can print them however many times, and then you just you know, they're blank so you can use it against whatever colors. I didn't want to assume that, you know, somebody wanted to use this pink card for stuff I make. I wanted it to be more customizable for you. So that's why I don't really have a rhyme or reason. There's not going to be an order in which these go in. But what I do want is to make sure that I give myself space for a cover. So I think, and I'm going to create my own cover and decorate that. I don't know if I'll do that here with you today, but let's just kind of start putting this together now. I'm kind of deciding here whether it makes sense to have, let me actually put it together like this, because maybe it would be cool to have just the grid on one side and a blank page on the other. So let's just see how that feels, and then I'll make a choice. So far, and yeah, what you're gonna find is that they're gonna be a little extended out here. It's just kind of how it goes. You can trim them off at the end if you want. Also, what we could do is make a cover that's just slightly larger so that it covers that. Completely up to you. I am no professional at this. I kind of just winging it, to be honest. So let's count the pages though. Okay, so we've got a cover, and then there's one spread, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I don't want that many, so I think I'm going to take out the green. Well, this will be the cover, so maybe I'll take the green off and I'll do the gray as the cover. That way it's just neutral. Or I just do a plain paper cover, and the insides could be like this, and I could have, no, that's kind of annoying. How about, didn't I have 2 pinks? Yeah, I think the other pink is in the middle. Okay, what if I did this? Then I could put pattern paper over it. Then I've opened it up to pink. That's like the opening page. And then I've got 1 list, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I kind of want another. Let's try it like this. Oh, either way, there's going to be a blank in the middle, and that's totally fine. So opening page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's so much more doable. So I'm going to stick with that. That ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of paper. Okay, this is the tricky part for me because I had a hard time lining up the stapler every single time. So I think what I'm going to do, let's use this as a test. I'm going to make a little mark so that I know where the paper needs to be in my stapler. I guess I could use washi. Let's do something I can see. Or, no, because I can't really tell what part of the stapler. Okay, it's like the little opening. And then I gotta get it straight because I had all kinds of wonky okay. So I think if you have it down, you kind of slide it, it kind of falls in. Well, that doesn't work every time. Okay. However you want to do your lining up. Let me put, it's hard to do. I didn't think about this. Let me just make a little notch so I know where to line it up. harder than you think. Okay, that actually worked out really well. Now, the thing to remember is that we want the insides of the staples to the inside of the book. So, and hopefully I can get it all the way through all of these papers. Also something I didn't think about. Here we are. And I did it backwards. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, I kind of did. Yeah, because I wanted the pink to be the cover. Okay, you know what? It was a good test run because it didn't actually go through all the way. I'm going to do it again. Probably could take a page out. Nothing's going to be perfect, remember, unless you have a better way, then you assemble your book however you want. Okay, this is the inside. Okay, so I need to go this way. All right, we're going to do this again. And that wasn't really centered. But again, all this stuff's going to be covered up, especially on the outside. I'm going to probably put a piece of paper over all of this. All right, good enough. Good enough. Probably should stand up a little bit more for this. And this is why we let the professionals make the books. Pretty good, pretty good. We're gonna fix the staples once we get going. Okay, one more. I think the standing up helped. Okay, so not even, but everything folds, and then we're gonna take the bone folder and make sure that like the little staples are like not gonna stab us. Kind of get them folded in. This middle one kind of only came through the one side. Not perfect. And again, A-okay with me. Look at that. We have a little book. Okay, now I think we need to fold open the pages a little bit. Just so they lay a little flatter, especially on the outsides. And here I'll probably end up doing like maybe a mid spread and use the full width with one sheet of paper to kind of hide those staples. Just fold it open. The little staple you didn't make it all the way through. They do kind of like this idea of having a blank page and a grid page, so that worked out. And again, not perfect. And I actually don't even mind this little bit of extra sticking out there. It kind of helps with thumbing through. If it, does get on my nerves at the end, I can always just run my scissors through and kind of like even it out, but it's not bothering me at the moment, so we're just gonna leave it. Okay, now put my stapler away. I'm going to keep my washi tape on there because that was helpful. All right, so I could totally make another book because I've got all these extra pages, but I wanted to kind of show you my idea for assembling this. So if I have an opening page and then I kind of wanted to do every color and kind of have this situation going on so that it coordinates. And then we could just adhere that in there. So then this one would have the blue one. This is the teal. See how nice that looks? I'm glad I used the light version. Okay, then I'll probably do another paper in there. This is this the teal? Oh, it's gonna be the same colors on each side, so I do need to trim out. I'm not gonna be able to use every one unless I decide, no, I just don't like the way that looks. I just feel like it looks better when it coordinates. So I'll probably do that. I'm just gonna chop these up real quick since I have the extra. So I need a teal, a blue, and orange. Teal, blue, and orange. And if you decide not to use the grid paper for your guts, then you don't have to have things necessarily coordinating like me. You could use any of the other pattern papers and, you know, glue them in to your plain paper. I just wanted to try to get some use out of the papers that I had already printed, because I always have to print my own stuff and do a little test print, and then obviously I use it all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue all of these in here because I want to just kind of have it assembled. So we're going to go through and adhere. And the sizing is so that you can have just a little bit of room on the outside, so you're not having to, you know, get everything edged up perfectly. Try to make it as easy as possible. And then that way you're also not competing with the spine either, and it just doesn't add extra bulk to the fold. Okay, actually, let me get the rest of these in, and then we're going to decide on a pattern paper. I might use the green because I didn't get to include the green because I took that paper out. Got another blue. Looks great. Okay, let's get this green one over here and maybe we'll just glue it in just like that, so that when it opens it just goes straight to double grid. Let's do that. So I'm not gonna glue it on the inside. I think I want to leave that like around the spine. I want to leave that kind of free flowing, you know, because of the way that it bends and when it folds and stuff. I just feel like I don't want it to be too constrained. Okay, all right, look at that. All right, let's get in here and use the bone folder just a little bit to help with that fold. All right, that's good. I dig it. Okay. I'm gonna leave this flat for a little bit. Let's decide on a cover. I have picked out a couple of options for the cover. I kind of wanted a paper that represented a lot of the colors that are in here, and I picked out these three, but I also want to use this cover kind of title thing that comes with the kit. And I think the best match for that is going to be this one here. So I'm going to use this one. So let me cut. A lot of times I just measure like this. I just kind of get it up to the edge and I make a little pencil mark and I get it up to the other edge, and I might go a little bigger. And I make another mark. It's really fancy and scientific. Okay, this one is just going to get glued to the outside, and since it is going to be a little, yeah, I mean I could have cut it even longer, but that's okay. Again, that does not bother me, but since I have the paper, I might as well. So let's go. Actually, let's just wrap it and see. Yeah, that covers. Yeah, so let's make a little mark right there and see how long that is. Again, fancy. I dig that. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing going this way. Actually, this way we're going to do the exact. So it should be 4 1/4. It's going to be a hair over 4 1/4. That's all good. You're just eyeballing stuff. It's okay to eyeball. Okay, so now I think the best way would be to start in the center. So let's go here and here. Let's go out a little bit. Eyeball, ladies. Eyeball. Okay, and then let it bend. Look at that. We just solved all our problems. Okay, and now we'll get in here and glue down the rest. Perfect. Perfect. I'll probably, let's trim. Let's trim. Now it's perfect. And you can't, like, that's not a big deal right there. Like, that's a-okay. Not a problem. Because it's an opening page anyway, you can just ignore that. I'm going to ignore it. Okay. I love this. Okay, let's work on the cover. And you got a little, yeah, I like that. It's got some good bend in there, and that way it'll still always lay flat. So that's why we started from the center and then moved out. Okay, so here I really like how that looks. And what I want to do is put my name on this. That's kind of, you know, a book about me, and I like, you know, putting a title on stuff. So we can use maybe a label here, or maybe one of these new labels that come in this kit. This is going to be printed on transparency, so I might grab one that is printed on cardstock. like this one. I haven't trimmed it properly. I don't know. I feel like that, well, I don't know. It's got the circle, so it looks kind of cool. It looks like it belongs. What if we did like a little ticket and made like a smaller cluster? I like this admit one because it's just going to be about you, right? Or we could pop it on top like that. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like this. Okay, I'm gonna interview that for a little bit. Let's let it marinate. Maybe grab a heart or two. Now, if I was not using this situation, you know, we could do so much. You could do whatever you want. You can use any of the cards that come in the kit. You don't have to use that. It's just that it's already a kind of a title, so I just wanted to use it. But you could totally use like this one card and put your name here and like decorate with a couple of things because, you know, it's just you're one person. You could use one of these grid cards. And you could do like your name or like your initials. I don't know. I think I might want to use this. Because let's see, we could do like initials here. We could do the date that we're working on this because it is a snapshot in time and the things that you're going to be answering in this list could change, you know? So this could be like, you know, spring and summer of 23. Like it could be a specific time frame. And then maybe there can be like a heart in here. And you could like fill up the other spots with just other stuff. I must have printed these labels like 3 times. I think I printed one set and physically trimmed them, and I printed another set and did them on the Cricut, and then printed another set on the. I didn't mean transparency when I said that earlier. I meant clear sticker paper. And then here, like we could use a little ephemera piece. Let's see, all these are kind of large, but oh, see, like you could do summer recorded. I might have to print these little ephemera pieces in a smaller. Ooh, we could do the quotes because it's like stuff about you. Okay, well, I've changed my mind. Maybe this will go on the inside cover page since there is pink in the middle there. I'm liking this. Okay, I think I want to do, I already did. I like this because it's got orange in the middle of the flowers. So we've got orange, blue, and then maybe I kind of like, so I need like a pink letters or pink stamp, obviously a stamp. And so I'm going to test though, stamping the pink on the orange. I think, yeah, picked raspberry is the color that goes best with this. Let me make sure. Get my stamp just in case. And my, picked raspberry. And we're going to need a stamp that fits in here. I think Sunshine Lower would be perfect right in here. Let's just double check. Where are you? There you are. Another one that I think would work well in there would be Kindred Alpha. That would be good. Oh yeah. Oh, and then because my last initial is G, I could pick the fancy G or the trendy G, or I could do D R E. I kind of just like, maybe I just do one initial. Maybe I just do A, and I can just pop it right there in the center, and that would be really cute. Okay, I like that idea. So then maybe I need a bolder, like a little bit bigger A. Maybe like, I don't want it to be that fancy. This is kind of fun because it mimics the lines of this pattern, and then this way I could do, and it's going to go over the edge, which sometimes I like, but I don't think I want that in this situation. I think I want a lot of the orange showing. So I think I'm going to stick with just using the A, but I might go look at the capital A and see if I like the way that looks a little bit better. I feel like it's too fancy because it's obviously not the same letters as what we're using here. Let's just check out some other options, shall we? Too fancy, too big. Okay. I kind of like Otis. I guess I could do my own dang handwriting. I could do that. I like Otis, but it's too small. It's just, I just don't need a big giant A like that. Why do we have so many stinking decisions? You know what? No, because that just feels too vintage for what we're doing here. I don't know, but the lines are nice. I could just do AG, or I could do D. 3 letters would fit there in this size. Okay. Okay, it's either, let me check this one again. I really like the clean lines of this Carrie Bradford stamp, this district. Do I have district in smaller version? I have the lower. That's actually really nice. And it actually fits in there. And that's a really fun G, and I could let the G hang down a little bit. I actually wouldn't mind. Okay, let's test it first. Okay, let me move all of these. Well, you guys are seeing like all the down and dirty that happens when I when I create, although I usually don't talk out loud. So that's a little different. Okay. I love a good lowercase. I'm going to take this off of here for just a few. We're going to do a little testaroo. Let's line this up as best as we can. Get my cool fancy G. That's actually super fun, and I could just move these down here. I can give myself some more room. I can move these down here. I could actually do this in the dark blue, in the Mermaid Lagoon, because then it would balance out the quotation marks. And then I could maybe do an orange on orange. We'll have to see if the spice marmalade looks good on this. But I think we have a winner. And I definitely don't want to do black ink. I think definitely blue. Okay, we're going in. Let me put these aside. I don't have anything rocking the boat here. Prepare yourself for stamping. Do you remember those old vintage books? Prepare yourself for when your husband comes home from work. Prepare yourself for sewing. Make sure your dress is clean. They're actually super fun. Okay, I like that. Another thing, ooh, you know what I should have done? I can still do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, let me grab, actually this might work. No, I don't want a grid. I'm just gonna do, let me get a scrap paper. Okay, this is gonna cover this up, and that's okay. We're gonna do this again real quick. I'm gonna do make a little die cut instead, because I kind of like the darkness that's happening because it's on the orange is kind of throwing me off a little bit. So I'm gonna do it on the white, and then we're gonna cut this out and leave a little tiny bit of white space around. So I like that much better. Let's glue this down. Let's add some dimension. I love when I'm looking for my scissors and they're literally in front of me. Okay, we're gonna go a long one down here, and I'm gonna cut this a little bit shorter for this side. And doing that extra little bit of white space allowed the previous stamp to be covered up. Oops. Oh my gosh, it didn't even come off my finger. Okay, I'm digging that. I think all of these need to have a little bit of dimension. And I wonder if maybe we just do this, balance that out a little bit, and put the date in pink right under here. So I could do, I don't have summer on this one. I think on Chasing Sunshine, I have summer. Yep. Okay, so that'll fit right there, summer, and then I'll use, well, throwing things around here. Then I'll use this, but I'll just use the 2023. I'll just use 4 digits of that. Okay, let's get poppin'. Oh, and I still have this little extra piece right here. And I'll actually let that go up over the line as well. And I like these being overlapped. I think that's kind of cool. So I'm gonna glue them together first, just to make sure I like how they're lined up. Kind of like that they're off a little bit. That's fun. Look at me being kind of crazy. And I think we'll just pop them up on the top section. And yeah, I kind of like them overlapping a little bit as well. Okay, so this one I'm going to do picked raspberry. I also normally clean up more than this throughout my project, so you're gonna see me kind of cleaning up because I can't really function when things are kind of a mess. Oh, that was a little too juicy. Some of the Distress Oxide pads are juicier than others. So you kind of have to get used to like where is a good place on your stamp pad. There we go. Because some places like the middle can be juicier than the edges. So that's just a little tip. All right, before I get cutting, I need to clean up a little. We're gonna put these aside, put this away, put some of my ephemera away since I decided what I'm using. Clean up the garbage. Oops, so you'll have to let me know if you are a clean as you go gal, or if you just let your crafts explode and then clean up after. As you can tell, I am definitely a clean as you go gal. I'm liking this. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like it with the white. Adds a little bit of pop. So there's summer. Oops, I smeared it just a smidge. With the Distress Oxides too, they do need time to cure. Okay, so 20, 23. And I'm just going to use, I'm going to scooch these a little closer together as well. Just a little bit. And then only stamp on those 4. Again, right on the edge there is going to give you a nice consistent stamp. There, not perfectly even. That is okay. All right, look at that. We have a little cover. I like that a lot. Okay, let's glue it down. We're committing. We've made it. All right, I'm going to even it up to the edge here instead of trying to get it centered with the spine, because that spine takes up just a little bit. That's nice. I like that. All right, so on the inside, we're not going to go through this together because I need to make my lists off of this book prior to getting them in here. But what's cool is there's seven things you could list out. You could also just use that for something else. You don't have to use this for every list. You could use the grid paper. Again, you could use some of the lined notes. Like, it would be pretty cool to have the lined note like in here. Like, if this, maybe I cut this out, or I can use it like that, and it kind of covers that little edge a little bit. And you could do a little lined note and talk about, you know, hey, here's, you know, a little bit about me right now, and flip through whatever and add whatever you want. Like, I think it would be so cool to have some of these kinds of things. Like, this is from the add-on, but like using it as like the color palette for that page. And like, maybe this is the one you use with like song lyrics or music that new songs you found or something. But like, the colors are all going to coordinate perfectly. And that's, you know, that's done on purpose so that things match and you don't need any other supplies. You just use everything from the summer collection. And I really hope that you're enjoying the summer collection so far. I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it just ends up where these things become my favorites because they are just super fun, and I just start to fall in love, you know, as I create all of these things and I think about how you guys could use them and think about all the ways that you guys can document your own lives and your special things, and it just makes me happy. So I hope you've enjoyed making this little mini mag with me. Let's keep it up. Let's share. I'll let you know in the description. I'll let you know what hashtag we can use, and you can share your Crafty Babe mini mag as you create it, as you start it, as you work in it, as you finish it, like it's not a stress. It's not going to be a stressful project. There's no finish line. I may not even finish this. I just wanted something that was just a little bit different for me, a different little spot for me to create some lists. And this is also something you do not have to make this little book. You could totally use these printables in whatever format you're using. I even went through like putting them in a page or putting them on a page. Let me oh, I don't have any. Do I have any blanks? Let's just pretend this is a blank. So you could easily make a page listing with any of this stuff. Do I have another one that's not? Okay, I'm going to use this gray one, and look, you could totally make a page with just these things. You do not have to make any kind of separate album. You do not have to buy anything new. You could use whatever colors you want. Look at how fun this is. Oh my gosh, look at this one. If I could grab it, would be great. But look how fun that is. And then your little list could be right here. The title could be right here. And all of these title prompts or list prompts are meant to fit within this space right here. If you, let's say you don't like your handwriting, or you don't want to handwrite anything or try to work out stamping it, the idea is that you can just trim it down. Oh no, it's falling apart because my staples didn't go all the way through. It's falling apart, ladies. I will have to remedy that somehow, some way. But these are meant to, you could just give it a quick little trim. Sorry, I'm running out of room here. A quick little trim. And you could trim it on the edges too, or you could maybe do a little tear like that. That would be cute. And then you can just pop it right on here. Stuff I make. Or you could put it over here. None of these are going to be longer than the space allotted in here. And they're not going to be like, even one of these really long ones, like things I'm learning. Even this really long one is not going to go even to the edges. See? Look at that. You still have a lot of room. And then the other alternate title that I made, my poor little book, it's already falling apart. I knew I shouldn't have done that extra page. That's all right. We live and we learn. And I could totally just, like, I could do some stitching. I actually probably should have done that instead of the staples. I should have just stitched. I could totally take the staples out and then throw a hand stitch situation. And actually it's not that thick. I could totally stitch that with my sewing machine. So I'll probably what I'll do. But the other option for your title, like a cover page, is this Hi, It's Me, a Crafty Babe mini mag. So I made it very generic and in black so that you could use it on any pattern paper and decorate around it any way that you want. But it's meant to kind of just be cut out like this. And you've got yourself just another little title option like this. You could do that. You could add a little card, or you could do something like this and put it in here like that, or up like this. And then you can put your initials here, or you can write your name. You can add some little lines like this and write your name. You could write the date and maybe where you live right now. Just be careful of where you post that kind of information. So there's just a ton of options, and I wanted to give you guys just a very generic starting point so that you could use all the printables and make this book completely yours, or make pages that are completely yours that make sense with however you do documenting. So thank you guys so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for being Crafty Babes. I will talk to you soon. Bye.